Hey everyone, and welcome back to Real Estate Matters. I'm Divine, your host and local realtor. Today we are tackling a hot topic. What is the driving force behind Halifax's housing market? It's a dynamic and evolving market with lots of moving parts. So I will make sure to unpack some key factors that is shaping things today, from population growth to economic development. We'll also be looking at interest rates and supply constraints. And I will also make sure to share what this means for buyers and sellers and how you can navigate this current landscape. First, let's look at some current stats to set the stage. As of March 2025, Halifax recorded about 421 home sales, which is actually a 16% decrease compared to last year. But compared to 2 years ago, sales have increased by around 27%. So the market is starting to stabilize after some fluctuations. Currently, the average price for a single-family home is around $629,000. That is up about 5.2% year over year. Condos and apartments average around $520,000, a more significant increase of 14%. Inventory homes remain somewhat tight, with about 1,156 active listings, reflecting a seller's market in many neighborhoods. However, new listings are up with about 625 new residential listings, which is a 25% increase from last year. And this is encouraging for buyers who are hungry for more options. So now let's unpack what forces are pulling and pushing the Halifax housing market. The first one is population growth and migration. Halifax's population is growing rapidly, and this is driven by interprovincial migration. We see more and more Canadians moving from other provinces. We also see international migration with skilled workers and students coming to Halifax for university and jobs. This steady influx means that more people need homes, whether to rent or to buy, which pushes demand higher, especially for single-family homes in suburbs or family-friendly neighborhoods. Secondly, there are supply constraints and construction challenges. Despite increased building activity, new housing supply hasn't kept up with the demands of our current market. Several things contribute to this, such as the rising construction costs for materials and labor. There's also longer permits and approval times due to regulatory hurdles. In Halifax, there is also limited availability of land for development near urban centers. This supply-demand imbalance drives up home prices and making it more competitive for buyers, especially in popular neighborhoods. We also need to look at economic fundamentals and the job market. Halifax's economy is quite diverse, which helps sustain the housing demand. Firstly, we have a strong public sector employment such as government, healthcare, and housing. There's also a growing sector for tech and startups. Halifax is also home to military and defense presence, providing a stable job. There's also been an increase of tourism and service sectors following the pandemic. This economic stability gives buyers confidence to enter the housing market and supports steady housing demand. Now looking at interest rates and mortgage environments. Interest rates have been on a roller coaster over the past few years. Recently, we've seen some rates easing from the Bank of Canada after a period of hikes to control inflation. Lower or stable interest rates means better mortgage affordability, allowing more buyers to qualify and increase their buying power. However, rates are still high compared to the historic lows of 2020 and 2021. So affordability challenges remains for some buyers. This mix influences how quickly homes sell and the pricing powers that sellers have. So if you're on the market looking to buy, here are some key takeaways. It's good to know that inventory is improving, meaning that there is more options. However, popular prices and popular neighborhoods do tend to move fast. So it is important to get pre-approved for a mortgage and also act quickly when you see a property that you like. As buyers, consider widening your search area if you're struggling to find homes in your preferred neighborhoods or price range. Also be aware, while prices have increased, homes in Halifax still offer a good value compared to larger cities. This makes it a smart place to invest or to settle down. Sellers in Halifax also have good reasons to be optimistic. Demand remains strong for homes, especially in well-priced areas and well-presented. The increase in listings means that more buyers are active, but home inventory is still not enough to meet the demand, fully giving sellers pricing power. Now could be a good time to consider selling your home if you want to capitalize on the rise in value or need to move. But as buyers, it is very important to be realistic on pricing your home, as overpriced homes tend to sit on the market longer. Timing the sale of your home to line up with your next purchase is critical, especially in today's market where we see so much fluctuation in inventory. Looking at the rest of the year and into 2026, here are some predictions that experts have made. Firstly, home prices will continue to rise, but at a more moderate rate of 4 to 6% annually. Also, sale volume may increase slightly as inventory improves and interest rate stabilizes. First-time home buyers and new Canadians will be key drivers in the market activity, often looking for single-family homes. There's also more focus on energy-efficient, sustainable builds as consumer awareness grows. And here are my top tips for anyone involved in the Halifax market. For buyers, get pre-approved as soon as possible. And when you see a home that you like, act quickly and do not overextend on your budget. Also, consider working with a buyer's agent for market insight and negotiation help. For sellers, price your homes competitively based on the comparable sales. Also, invest in staging and curb appeal. Small investments could pay off big. Have a clear plan for your next steps, especially if you're buying another home. If you're an investor, look for emerging neighborhoods with potential for appreciation. Also, consider rental demand trends and tenant profiles in Halifax. Thank you for tuning into this deep dive on what is driving the Halifax market. I hope I gave you a clearer picture of our unique and exciting market. And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be dropping new episodes regularly. So if you want to stay on top of the Halifax market or get some market insights, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have questions or would like us to focus on a specific topic, send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. So see you next time on Real Estate Matters. And remember, when it comes to real estate, it all matters.